Here we go. Chapter 7 of the Meanest Dolls, The Longest Night. So Annabelle and Tiffany have now realized that they're in the wrong house, and they realize that there are some mean dolls here. One of them is the meanest doll, Mean Mimi. And then there's another doll that's really very big, almost the size of a person there as well. Let's see what happens. It's the longest night. I'm thinking it's not going to be a good night. Who are you? Asked the doll in the yellow slippers. Annabelle turned away from the window. The building in which she now found herself was a hut made of small plastic blocks. Legos, she realized, probably built by the boys whose room this was. Yeah, who are you? Shouted a voice from outside. That's Mean Mimi, whispered the dolls in the slippers. Annabelle and Tiffany peered through the window again and saw the princess doll standing only a few inches away, and her hands were on her hips. Tiffany poked her head out the window. I'm Tiffany Funcraft, and this is my best friend Annabelle Doll, she called. What are you doing here? Asked Mean Mimi. Don't answer, hissed the doll in the slippers. It's better not to talk to her. Tiffany pulled her head inside, and Annabelle watched Mean Mimi wait for a moment to answer, then called to the giant. Come on, Sandra, leave them alone for now. The princess and the giant left the room, and the princess slammed the door shut behind her. Annabelle was facing the oddest assortment of dolls that she'd seen since her days more than 100 years ago in the old doll maker's workshop in London. The doll in the yellow slippers was standing between two other dolls, one wearing pink pajamas and pink fuzzy slippers, and the other wearing blue pajamas and blue fuzzy slippers. Their hair and skin color were different, Annabelle noted, but otherwise their faces looked alike. Next to the pajama dolls were two what? Annabelle had seen dolls like them somewhere before, she thought. And then she remembered the day Kate had come home from school with a doll lent to her from Rachel. It was chubby and squat with a wild frizz of brilliantly colored hair, which Kate had spent nearly an hour braiding and unbraiding and braiding again. What had Kate called the doll? A troll, Annabelle thought. And now here were two trolls next to the dolls in pajamas, each wearing sort of a poncho made of a scrap of fabric with a hole cut in the center, which had been slipped over her head. One troll's hair was bright blue, and the other was a rainbow of colors. Annabelle was so fascinated by the troll dolls that at first she didn't see the 6 other dolls in the hut. When she did, she let out a gasp. The dolls were behind the trolls, and they looked like they were floating. Then Annabelle realized that only 5 appeared to float. The 6th was holding onto the yellow Lego above the doorway. The others fluttered and flapped below her in the draft of air. The dolls were made of paper, pale green, and they hung in a wavering line joined at the hands. The doll in the yellow slippers stepped forward. Where do you live? She asked. No, said Annabelle. We're here by... Oh, I made a mistake. Where do you live? Do you live here? No, said Annabelle. We're here by mistake. We live at Kate Palmer's house, and we accidentally got in her backpack before she went to school yesterday. And then we got out of her backpack in school so we could see what school was like. And then we climbed in the wrong backpack, not Kate's. Annabelle trailed off. And we got out of the backpack, Tiffany spoke up. We were here. Where are we anyway? This is BJ's room. Is BJ a boy? One of the trolls stepped forward. Yep, BJ Gordon. Tiffany looked at Annabelle. BJ Gordon, is he in Kate's class? I'm not sure, replied Annabelle, frowning. Are you BJ's dolls? She asked. The blue-haired troll laughed. No, we belong to Callie. Callie? Who's Callie? Asked Tiffany. Oh, she's BJ's sister. Her room is next door. We come in here to hide sometimes. Well, what are your names? Annabelle asked him timidly. The doll in the yellow slippers put her arms around the other dolls in slippers and said, We're PJ Party Pals. I'm Yvonne. That's Penny in the pink. And that's Beth in the blue. And these, she continued, are the troll twins. Callie didn't give them names, and they didn't come with names. So they named themselves. So here's a picture, boys and girls, of the dolls that they met. So here are the PJ pajama dolls. And here are the troll dolls. Have you ever seen these dolls? I used to have these when I was little. And here are the cutout dolls that are just cut out from paper. And here you can see the one holding on, and the other one sort of just floating through air. Let's see what the names of the troll dolls are. Oh, wrong page. I'm Waterfall, said the troll with the blue hair. Isn't that the most beautiful name you've ever heard? And I'm Magnificent Mariah Rainbow, said the other troll. But you can just call me Melody for short. The chain of paper dolls flutters as Waterfall walked by them. We're the cutouts, they said in unison. Unison, boys and girls, means that they said it all together. So they said all of the dolls together at the same time, said we're the cutouts. Annabelle looked at the outline of their green dresses and hairs and their plain, featureless faces, and they waited to hear their names. But they said nothing more, just gently flowed in the current. You come in here and hide? Tiffany repeated. From Callie? No, from me, Mimi, said Waterfall. But who's me, Mimi? Asked Annabelle. And why does she want that giant doll to chase after you? Melody sighed. Let's sit down, she said. It's kind of a long story. A long story, echoed the cutouts. So Annabelle and Tiffany sat on the floor in the center of the Lego hut with PJ Party, Pals, and the Troll Twins, and the cutouts swayed in the doorway. Me Mimi's real name, began Melody, is Princess Mimi. She arrived 2 years ago. The rest of us were already here. Callie likes dolls, and she has lots of them. Most of us are alive. I'm usually the one to give the oath, said Waterfall proudly. And here they all are sitting together in the middle of the Lego hut, and Annabelle and Tiffany are hearing their story. Oh yes, she gives the oath, said the cutouts. Anyway, when Mimi first arrived, continued Melody, we all wanted to be her friend. We thought she was beautiful. She was nice and funny, and she seemed to want to be our friend. But soon, said Beth, we saw how bossy she was. She was always telling us to do this and to do that. Why? Because she thinks she's a real princess, but not a doll princess. Not a doll in princess clothes. She thinks one day she's going to become queen of all dolls. Added Penny, all dolls, as in the whole doll world. The queen of all dolls, sang the cutouts. So she ordered us around, said Melody. She expected us to do whatever she wanted. She told us to get things for her and do favors for her. She said she could have everything she wanted. Well, at first we didn't mind. We were happy. That was a beautiful girl, this girl who was smart and confident and exotic, said the cutouts. Right, exotic, agreed Melody. That this wonderful exotic girl wanted to be our friend, and each of us hoped to be her best friend. Then one by one, we saw Mimi for what she was. Think in your head, what do you think Mimi is? She's bossing people around. She's telling them to do things that she wants. And everybody's doing what she wanted. But she really is yep, you got it, a bully. So we began calling her Mean Mimi instead of Princess Mimi, said Waterfall. We told her we weren't going to be her friend anymore, continued Melody. We said if she didn't know the true meaning of friendship. Annabelle's eyes opened wide. What did she say? She said, you'll be sorry. You'll pay for this. And she started doing all of these mean things to us. Why don't you just ignore her, said Tiffany. Well, we tried to, said Yvonne, in the beginning. In the beginning, chorused the cutouts. But there were other dolls here, said Melody, and Mimi has turned some of them against us, the ones that she can control. You mean like the giant, asked Annabelle. Yes, said Beth. That's the Sandra doll. She's the most dangerous, I guess, since she is the biggest. There are others as well. Techno Man and Sleeping Billy, whispered the cutouts. Any others? Asked Tiffany. Nope. It's me, Mimi, the Sandra doll, Techno Man, and Sleeping Billy, against the rest of us, said Waterfall. Well, who are Techno Man and Sleeping Billy? Asked Annabelle, looking nervously out the window. And, she went on, how come we haven't heard the Sandra doll say anything? Does she talk? Does she talk? Does she talk? No, she doesn't talk, sang the cutouts. Melody took a deep breath. All right, here's the deal. Like I said, Mimi's friends, she calls them friends, but they aren't true friends, are the dolls she can control. Take the Sandra doll. She may be big, but she really is just a baby who just learned how to walk. We don't know exactly how Mimi controls her, but we think the Sandra doll is afraid of her. And she's too young to know about what to do. She just does whatever Mimi tells her. Yeah, like go crashing around and stepping on us, said Beth. Then there's Technoman, said Melody. He's actually on Mimi's side voluntarily. So voluntarily means that he's doing it because he wants to. No one's forcing him, he's volunteering to do it. He should know better, said the cutouts. And Melody paused. He's an action figure, she whispered. What? Shrieked Annabelle. Action figures never take the oath, cried Tiffany. She turned to Annabelle in alarm. Annabelle recalled a night years earlier when she had pestered Nanny with questions about the doll code of honor. She distinctly remembered Nanny saying, oh no, action figures don't take the oath. They're too destructive. They would never agree to work for the benefit of doll kind. Even if one did agree, he would be in PDS, permanent doll state. In the blink of an eye, action figures are out of control. And here's just a picture of, look at the Sandra doll. She is very big. Did you know that action figures never took the doll code of honor? Or did you just learn that? I don't remember hearing that in the beginning. And now, here was Melody saying, we don't know what happened. One day, Technoman just got up and walked out of the bucket of action figures. It was really scary, said Yvonne. Now, we're afraid of the whole bucket, added Penny. Good Lord, thought Annabelle. I'm certainly glad I don't live in this house. The captain was beginning to seem friendly in comparison. What does Technoman do? Asked Tiffany. Oh, you'll probably see, replied Waterfall. Yep, you'll see, sang the cutouts. He's got all these gadgets, rockets, lasers and stuff, said Melody. Well, do they work? Are they real? Asked Annabelle. Sort of, said Yvonne. Not really, said Beth. He's very scary, said Penny. What about Sleeping Billy? Asked Tiffany. Sleeping Billy, repeated Melody. Well, Sleeping Billy is really a baby, much more than the Sandra doll. He's an infant, said Waterfall. He's bigger than Mean Mimi, though, said Penny. He's even bigger than Technoman. He's just a soft baby wearing a bunting, only his plastic face peeks out of the bunting. So the bunting is, if you ever think of a baby, and Tiana will know this because her sister was born this year as a baby when they wrap them all up. And the bunting is like the outfit that goes all around them, and you only can see their face. They have a hood. It looks like this. I'll show you a picture. And here he is. So you only see his face, and he's wrapped in this bunting all around him to keep him warm. And here is a picture of Technoman. That he came out of the bucket of toys and came to life one day. But the thing is, said Waterfall, that his eyes can open and close. Now we're back talking about the baby. His eyes can open and close, and they close every time he lies down. And whenever his eyes close, he immediately falls asleep. So he's not much good to Mimi, except that because he's stuffed and it's pretty hard for him to get hurt. So Annabelle peered out of the window of the Lego hut. BJ's room seemed quiet. Where do you think everybody is? She asked. I still don't see Mimi or anybody. Oh, they're probably next door in Callie's room, replied Beth. In Mimi's headquarters, of course, the cutouts. That's where her throne and her robe are, all her princess stuff. She came with lots and lots of accessories, Waterfall explained. But right now, she's getting ready for an attack. An attack, cried Annabelle. Oh no, what if the humans see us? Oh, they won't see us, said Melody. No, they never see us, sang the cutouts. They go away every weekend. We're on our own here until Sunday night. Melody made a face. What kind of attack? Asked Annabelle. Mean Mimi plans all sorts of things, said Penny. Usually, she sets up BJ's racetrack. with one end high and the other in Callie's room, and the low end in here. Then she launches racing cars at us like missiles. She does other things too, of course. She attaches all of Technoman's gadgets to him and sends him in after us. And she sets a Santa doll on us. She does whatever she can think of. That's how mad she is when we aren't her friends anymore, Melody concluded. The dolls were silent for moments. Then the cutouts dropped to the floor and they glided by a window, each peering outside in turn. The PJ Party Pals and the Troll Twins began testing the sides of the Lego hut. They were wondering how sturdy it was. Annabelle pulled Tiffany away from the others. We're stuck in here until Sunday, she whispered. Tiffany nodded. So we'll have to help with the fight against Mean Mimi. It's the only thing to do. Annabelle pressed her lips together. She blinked her eyes. I know, she said at last. Whew. So that's the end of chapter 7. So be thinking, how is Mean Mimi? Imagine running against her. How is Annabelle feeling right about now? And Tiffany. What would you do? What would you do right now? Think about that. We'll chat a little bit more. I'm going to read to you tomorrow, chapter 8. And when we meet on Friday, we'll talk about chapter 7 and chapter 8. Bye-bye.